Hey sisters, welcome to day 10. We have gone through so many tips in the last 2 weeks covering, values, body bullying, to some of the nitty-gritty like how to build a snack. And I've thoroughly enjoyed recording these for you guys. I hope they have helped you. But today we are talking about how to make it stick. Because information is one thing, but putting it into practice is another, and then keeping it in practice is a whole nother ballgame. So today we are talking about how to make those goals stick and stay put and just become a part of who we are and what we do. Welcome to 10 days of empowered eating. As we kick off 2023, we are building our skills strong to stand on this empowered eating platform. I know, fear of failure is so real, friend, and trusting the process, it just does not come easy. Combine that with all the sparkly new diets that make their way to our socials and the headlines. It's confusing and totally overwhelming. I am so glad you're here. I'm Jess, dietitian, wifey, boy mom, and total science and nutrition research junkie. I ask a lot of my body. I don't have the option to mistreat it, either mentally by beating it up, telling it should look a certain way, or physically by not fueling it right. I want to invite you into the Empowered Eating Club, where we make values-based and faith-led health goals and create a partnership with food that pairs biofeedback, which is really just a fancy word for how your body responds to the food you eat, and nutrition science. We pull all of these together, and I know that these 3 things are the formula for you and your breakthrough year. I am so excited to cheer you on as you make 2023 the year you make the impossible happen. For more support, check out my resources at jessbrownrd.com, or better yet, join me in Next Level Nutrition. We are kicking off our next group coaching mastermind the 3rd week of January. Details can be found at jessbrownrd.com/next level nutrition. As for today, I'm so glad you're here, and I pray this tip helps you say no to the lies that are thrown your way, and yes to the awesome that you are. Grab your coffee, pop in your AirPods, and let's grow together with today's empowered eating tip. Now, I have to tell you guys, in this new year, I too like to, set goals and create a vision for what I want the coming year to look like. My process is I create a vision board and I create focal points for each quarter of the year and then break that down into months and focus points for each week. It's a long process. Some of you might be like, blech, but for me, I love it. So if you don't like it, come see me. I'll make it fun and we'll do it together. But when I did this, my husband and I have set a pretty big goal of getting a new camper. Now, if you guys have been listening for a while, you know I love to camp. We camp all summer long. We bought a camper a few years ago, and it's like what we do. It's just what the Brown family does now. Well, we actually sold our camper last October because apparently kids grow. Like, nobody tells you that kids get bigger. Just kidding. I know that, but I'm just in denial because I love my baby boys. But we went on a camping trip at the end of September, and it wasn't fun. It was so small. We were so crammed. We have 2 growing boys. We've got 2 big dogs now. It was constantly smelling like farts. When one of them would move, the whole camper would get up, and my husband and I just looked at each other and said, we have got to get a bigger one. So we have a big goal this year of getting our dream camper, and it's going to take some focus and attention to savings. We've had to redirect how we spend money. I'm having to say no to more shoes, which, poor me, I love my shoes. But I've really had to focus. And in doing that, I decided to make major slashes in my spending. If you guys know me, I'm a shopper. So this was a big change for me. Now, I started off on day 2. I'm sitting there on my phone, and Free People, my favorite store, is having a killer sale. And I'm like, I need all this stuff. So my husband finally looked at me and he's like, babe, if we're going to do this, we have to hold each other accountable. So we are going to do a no buy challenge. And whoever can go the longest without buying something for our closet we put some personal wagers on it. And I was like, I'm in. Let me tell you, this wager has changed everything. Now I have the accountability. And so actually last night I had some free time, which this is very, very rare, but I had no kids and no husband. So I'm like, I'm going to do what I used to do, which is go to Nordstrom's Rack and TJ Maxx and just walk around, you smell the candles, you look at all the hair products. I don't even need to buy anything. I just like to meander. And I did that. But of course I find something that I absolutely need. I found this really cute pair of shoes. And I'm getting ready to check out, and all of a sudden I remember, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I buy these, I don't care how great of a deal they are. I'm going to have to go home, explain to my husband that I bought them, and admit that I lost the no-buy challenge. Eek! I put them back. But I have to tell you, if I didn't have that accountability, I would not have followed through. I would have totally bought the shoes and I would have come home and hid them from my husband and just not, pull them out for a few weeks. But the fact that I knew I had to own up to it and tell him and be honest with him, it stopped me and it really helped me change some of my old patterns. Even though I have those goals and I'm very clear on what my goals are, old patterns persist. And I think we see that in our food journey. We can have a really solid foundation. We can have a really strong goal, but old patterns creep back in, especially when we're tired or we're in a down mood. Or in this case, I was in a really good mood because I was by myself shopping, and we can just forget what our goal is. So we need that accountability. When it comes to making goals stick, accountability is actually a big key in the process. So let me share some statistics with you guys on the power of accountability. And these are from the Power of Accountability Resource Center online. So they conducted a survey and this is what they found. If you have a goal or an idea, so if you just get the thought, you are 10% likely to complete that goal. If you sit down and consciously decide what you will do, so you actually map out some action plans, your likelihood of carrying out that goal goes up to 25%. Now, if you decide when you'll do this, so now you have a plan and a date attached to it, and this is where some of the SMART goal setting comes in, that percentage goes up to 40%. You are 40% likely to complete your goal. Once we start planning how, like, okay, we've got the what, we've got the when, now how am I going to do this? So if it's grocery shopping, it's like, okay, what am I going to buy? When am I going to go shopping? And how am I going to fit this into my week and my cooking strategies? Now we've got more pieces of the puzzle. This increased the likelihood to completing a goal by up to 50%. So half of the people at this point are likely to carry out a committed goal when they have these pieces in play. But how do we get this even higher? Here's the key: accountability. That percentage increased to 65% when someone committed to someone they knew that they were going to carry out that goal. So in other words, they shared their goal with somebody else and said, hold me accountable. It doesn't have to be a coach. It doesn't have to be a professional. It could be your spouse. Like in my case, it was my husband. I promised him and I knew I had to be accountable to him. So that's going to bump it up to 65%. But here's how you take it up to 95%. Having a specific accountability appointment with someone you have committed to. So beyond just talking about it, beyond mapping out the plans, we have a date on the calendar where you are held accountable for communicating how it's going, what your obstacles are, and where you can continue to grow. For me and my goal of buying this dream camper, I have an appointment next week with my accountant to go over all of our spending, what we are doing, and again, hold me accountable. So now I've leveled up what I'm doing and how I'm communicating this goal and how I'm inviting other people into my space to help me grow. We don't know everything. I am not an accountant. In fact, I have had to learn a lot about how to manage money because it's just not something that comes naturally to me. I know how to plan a meal plan, but put me in a budget, like I need help. And so that's why I've decided to reach out to someone who has trained in this, knows more about this, and can help me grow in places I might not even know I need to grow, right? Like they can help point me in the right direction. So stay tuned as to whether or not we get this camper. I'm feeling very optimistic because I've got all the pieces in play and it's just a matter of time and keeping my head down, focus, and doing the work. But as long as I can stay there, I've got faith it's going to come to fruition. And I feel the same for you guys. So my invitation for y'all today is to find some level of accountability. There are so many options for this. Start with the people closest to you. Your friends, your spouse, your parents, your sister, your brother, anyone who is in your circle can serve as your accountability partner. And then beyond that, setting a specific date on the calendar to meet with someone and go over what's working, what isn't, where you can continue to grow and stay focused. If you're listening to this podcast and you feel like we vibe and we would be a good connection, I would love to be that person in your corner. You can find details about working with me one-on-one at jessbrownrd.com. But wherever you find accountability, my end invitation today is set a date on the calendar with someone to go over all the details and all the things you have been working on. Friends, I hope this series has been helpful to you. I hope it encourages you as we kick off 2023 and make it our healthiest year yet, both mentally and physically, because we're here to be holistically healthy human beings. So you are free to share your awesome with the world. We'll resume next Monday with our regularly scheduled Monday podcast drops. I can't wait to see you guys there. Have a wonderful day. Cheers and happy eating. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it strengthened your food journey and empowered you to live boldly in your body. Real quick, sister, before you go, if you liked today's episode, the best way you can thank me is head on over to iTunes, Fuel Her Awesome Podcast, leave a review and subscribe. Then take a screenshot and share it on your social media. Don't forget to tag me at Jess Brown RD. And if you're looking for more resources, be sure to check out my website, jessbrownrd.com. I've got info on my e-course, Fuel Her Awesome Food Foundations, my 10-step ebook on how to beat body bullying, and so much more. I cannot wait to chat with you babes again. Until next time, cheers and happy eating.